after being a foot health practitioner for a little while, I wanted to make my business a little bit more personalised. So there's a lot of things that I wanted to update, such as my paperwork. A lot of the paperwork that I had was copies that we use in our clinical training, and I really wanted to update my forms, especially my consent forms, which is what this video is all about today. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 major things which I include in my consent forms. So if you are thinking about updating your paperwork, I hope this video is helpful. Okay, so the first thing that I include in my consent forms is about data protection, GDPR. So this is just information about what I'm going to be doing with my potential clients' information, so their names, their addresses, or any personal information which is sensitive. So on the Information Commissioner's website, it states that the 4 minimum things to include into a consent form is the following. So the name of your business and or the name of the data controller, why you want their data. So for example, their identity, their name, address, their phone number, email, medical history, doctor's details, information which, identifies them. It also states to include what you'll be doing with their data. So where will you be storing it? How long will you be storing it for? Is it going to be on electronic notes? Is it going to be locked away? Are you going to be sharing it with other medical professionals in an emergency? So information such as that will need to be in your consent forms. Next is that people can withdraw their consent, and you need to tell them how they can do that. So they are the 4 minimum things to include in your consent forms as per the Information Commissioner's office. Okay, so the next thing that I feel is really important for me to mention in my consent forms is the use of photos and videos. So we live in a digital age, we take a lot of pictures, and it can be really helpful in this job. So I use photos to monitor the progress of my client's feet or lack of. So in my consent forms, I include that I may take photos of their feet and what I will be doing with those photos or videos. And it also tells them that they can, take back that consent. So I upload photos of my client's feet onto their clinical records so that I can easily access it and obviously compare the difference over time. I also take photos to put a collage together and send it back to them so that they can see the progress in their feet and actually think, yeah, Jessica's actually doing something, and this foot care treatment that I'm getting regularly is beneficial. The other thing with photos is that, we use it in our social media, we use it for marketing, or we actually use it for a little bit of advice from other professionals as well. So I also make sure to include that within the consent form so that they're informed, because these consent forms is informed consent. You're informing them of what you're going to be doing with their, sensitive information, their personal data. So, I always ask them verbally. In the consent form, it says that I will ask them verbally whether I can use their photos in my marketing. So before and after photos, like you see everywhere on social media, that's all included in my consent form. And obviously, like I mentioned, they can also opt out if they want to, and then obviously I will have to take it down. So the third important thing that I mention in my consent forms is that there may be a risk of injury. Now, this is important to mention because it does happen when we have a scalpel blade or even a burr, if we sort of get a bit overzealous. There can become an injury, a bleed, a cut. So it's really important for me that I make sure that my client is aware that this may happen, even if it never ever does, and it's very minimal, it doesn't happen a lot. But it's important to inform them that these are potential risks which may happen, and that, with all this information, they still consent to me treating their feet. So I include this in my consent form to protect myself too. Now, if you don't have time to create your own consent forms, then on my website I have made mine available. So you can always head over there, and you will also see other templates such as my missed appointment policy. If you feel that it will help you and it's more convenient for you, saving you time, then do head over and have a little look. Otherwise, guys, I hope that this video has helped you in knowing how to update your consent forms. If it has, then please do hit that like button. Let me know in the comments down below as well. And as always, guys, it has been a pleasure. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.